I'm Murugraj Damodaran, First Secretary and Deputy Head of Mission. It's my honor to have you all of here. On behalf of the Embassy of India and Ambassador of India to Ireland, His Excellency Akhilesh Mishraji, I welcome all of you for today's event. This is a roundtable discussion to mark the Indian Constitution Day. To commemorate the adoption of the Indian Constitution, 26 November is recognized as National Constitution Day or Samvidhan Divas or National Law Day. On 26 November 1949, the Indian Constitution was ratified, and on 26 January 1950, it came into effect. Indian Constitution is essentially a set of frameworks that binds the nation together, invoking a sense of patriotism and unity that transcends social boundaries. The ideals embodied in the Indian Constitution are built entirely on a social, ethical, solid ethical framework designed to uplift the populace and propel Indian society ahead with the spirit of tolerance and respect for the national's diversity. Few interesting facts about the Indian Constitution, some of you might be knowing. The Indian Constitution is the lengthiest written constitution in the world, with 448 articles divided into 25 parts, 12 schedules, and 5 appendices. Despite being a relatively young constitution, it has undergone through some tremendous changes while demonstrating remarkable resilience to every challenge. As of September 2023, there have been more than 100, I would say 106 amendments of the Indian Constitution since it was first enacted in 1950. Indian Constitution is a living testament that proves that the desires of heedless political avarice do not govern the populace. Rather, it is the will and words of the Constitution. In Dr. B.R. Ambedkar's words, who is being known as the father of Indian Constitution, the Constitution is not a mere lawyer's document. It's a vehicle of life, and its spirit is always the spirit of the age. Now, let me introduce you about the event, the format of this event. Now, we will request Ambassador, His Excellency, to say his remarkable remarks on the topic today, and followed by, we will have a short video on the preamble of the Constitution, very short video, and followed by the participants who take over the stage, and you can please self-introduce yourself, and then you can share your views over either on Constitution as a general, or Indian Constitution, or Irish Constitution, or the link or the reference which you have taken from how it has influenced Irish Constitution, influenced Indian Constitution. Or we can say how efficient the Indian Constitution is protecting the rights of the people and the cultural diversity and of the nation. At the same time, while it is preserving, adapting itself for the changing, as per the changing nature of the requirement, changing nature of the time, and also the changing requirement of the country. So now, on behalf of all of us, I request Ambassador, His Excellency, to share your introductory remarks.
Thank you. Thank you. My very warm welcome to friends to the English Indian Embassy, and also all friends who are connected with this program virtually. It's a great privilege for us to welcome friends like you to our mission. As Raj mentioned, this is a very special moment for us to reflect on the importance of our Constitution and what does it mean for a country like India. But as you know, India got independence in 1947, and when we think, and recently we celebrated 75 years for independence. And for us as new ambassador in Dublin, it was a special privilege for me to celebrate 75 years of independence in Ireland, and also 100 years of Ireland's independence. So this was a great moment for us to introspect into our shared past and our common similar struggle for independence. So when we talk about the Indian Constitution, I feel very grateful to people of Ireland, because while we were struggling for our independence, the people here, the heroic struggle of Irish people inspired us for many years, and all different ways to gain independence had resonance in India. Whether it's a guerrilla warfare and also the constitutional means to gain independence, both had tremendous impact on Indian freedom struggle. Similarly, when we were drafting our constitution, then we found a great partner in Ireland. Ireland's constitution of 1937 was the latest among Commonwealth countries. And also, while we were drafting constitutions, we referred to many constitutions of the world, whether it's the US or French or Australia or Canadian, Russian, Japanese. We looked at all different constitutions, and we found like uh, huge resonance in our thoughts, our aspirations in the Irish Constitution of 1937. That was the first Republican constitution that we had opportunity to refer to. Ireland's constitution has been a point of reference for our constitution. And also when we were drafting our constitution, then our legal experts came to Ireland and they had a very detailed exchange of views on functioning operational aspect of a living Republican constitution. And we are very grateful that the Irish legal experts, including President Eamon de Valera, they were extremely generous in sharing their first-hand experience. And B.N. Rao, who was the key architect of our constitution, he wrote the first draft. And he came to Ireland and he spent a lot of time. He got very valuable insights. So again, we are very grateful to Irish legal experts. Third aspect is there are many articles of Indian Constitution are directly influenced by Irish Constitution. Like one most prominent contribution of Irish Constitution is the directive principles of state policy. So this is a very uniquely Irish innovation because this is not a legally enforceable right, but it gives a kind of moral pressure on the state to do certain things which are beneficial for the society. So non-justiciable principles incorporated in the constitution is Irish gift to India. But there are many other elements which came up for reference on the basis of what Ireland has done, although we could not implement them. The most touching reference was about how the Irish people collectively decided to revive and give preeminence to their own language, Irish language. In the Constituent Assembly debates, the Indian Constituent Assembly members, they refer to Ireland with great sense of affinity and also great sense of admiration. That when the Irish Constitution was adopted, like 1937 or even the 2022 Constitution, then how few people actually spoke Irish. In a country of maybe 5 million people, 4 million people, that time, hardly about 30,000 to 40,000 people spoke Irish. Because of the colonial policies, Irish language was on the verge of extinction. It is not that Irish was commonly spoken language. Irish was not a commonly spoken. On the other hand, English was universally understood, except maybe small areas in some parts of Ireland. English was the language. Even people who spoke Irish, they knew English. So English was the language in Ireland when we were drafting a constitution. But for the constitutional experts and the political leadership of Ireland, there was no doubt that it's Irish language which will be given the highest importance. Although for practical functional reasons, English was retained, but a constitution gives preeminence and priority to Irish language. Irish language is the national language, the first language of Ireland. Although in the early 20th century, hardly a few thousand people spoke. And the people who took this decision, like Eamon de Valera and all the top leaders who decided that Irish will be, they were not native Irish speakers. They might have known, but they were originally English speakers. So this was a very, very emotional point in our constituency debate. In Ireland Irish constitution, not only Irish has been given the national language, we do not have a national language. India does not have a national language. The central government, the Union of India, has two languages as official languages. And there again, like Ireland gives preeminence to Irish language. Like if there is a dispute between two texts, English text and Irish text, then it's the Irish text which will prevail. In India, it's not. Similarly, when it came to naming the new nation, independent nation, there was a lot of debate in Indian Constituent Assembly what should be the name of the country. For many people, there was no doubt that it's only India. For some other people, there was like a deep aspiration that India is a new name. India is a name given by foreigners to our country. It's not. It does not mean anything in our language. India does not mean anything. So there was like a very strong demand that we should go for a name India, not India, go for Bharat, which is the ancient name of our country. And through millennia, it has been known and it is recognized in our historical, cultural documents. But that was not accepted. Then there was a demand that why can't we follow Irish example? At least you keep both names, Era and Ireland, you keep both names. But why can't you keep your original name first? Like in Irish constitution, it's Era which comes first, and then English language is Ireland. So they refer to this text saying that why can't India adopt the same formulation? Keep Bharat first, then you keep India. Similarly, another point which really struck me is Ireland's pride in your local traditions, local language. One issue which has created and also continuing to create a lot of confusion and unnecessary doubts is what is state? State comes in Indian Constitution many times and in different connotations. On one idea conveyed by state is the country as a whole. Second aspect is state as the authority, the governance, and also not only the central government, but also we have a provincial, we also have local. The state has multiple, even in terms of authority, state has multiple dimensions and multiple concepts conveyed through that word. Similarly, state is also used for provinces. So it's like it's a deliberate confusion seeded in our constitution. So people in the Constituent Assembly debate, they question this: why are you creating confusion? Why can't you adopt again Irish model and use a typical Indian notion, Indian word, Indian concept, which makes it unambiguous? Like state instead of state, if you can use Pradesh, for example. If you use Pradesh, then it's absolutely clear that it's about provincial. So people looked up to Ireland and they saw like if Irish people can do it, it's such a very wise, profound like, thought process. But we could not do it. So personally, for me, it remains like a sore point. Why, like, also an aspect of the secularism. Ireland, like India, was like divided basically on the communal grounds. So after independence, Ireland had a constitution which is very, very pronouncedly Catholic in nature. Its constitution begins with Trinity. So while you have retained your native, like original cultural, religious self-pride, but you have been a very liberal in your conception of how the society will function. So, retaining your individuality, Irish people have given us a constitution which is very genuinely secular. In Ireland, the people from different religious background, they are practicing with no issue at all. Whereas in Indian constitution, we have like how we deal with plurality of religion continues to create more tension than we would have thought. Similarly, one point again is not part of constitution, but was very much a part of extensive debate during the Constituent Assembly when we were drafting, is about the membership of Commonwealth. Ireland was very clear in 1937. Your constitution is republican, and Ireland was very clear. But for different reasons, they could not actually get out because the British didn't let it come out. So Ireland in 1948-49, they decided, yeah, no, we are getting out. So that was a very bold decision, and first country in the entire Commonwealth to take this bold decision and come out. So again, this was discussed in the Constituent Assembly, and a lot of people in the Constituent Assembly, they said, like, look at Ireland's example, and why can't, like, Ireland has had best of both worlds. Ireland retains extremely close ties with Britain, but remaining out of Commonwealth. So a lot of people refer to this example that we can also, historical reasons, we will maintain contact, best of friendship with Britain and all the Commonwealth countries. But what is the rationale for an independent republican country to be under the Commonwealth? So this was again discussed in great detail, and Ireland came up for reference with tremendous admiration, although we could not implement it. There are a lot of issues on which Ireland has had tremendous influence in India. And that is why I think 75 years of our independence and 100 years of Ireland's independence provides us opportunity to, like, have a review. As in the past, I think there's a lot of benefit in our having exchange of views and consultation and sharing of experience of the past 70 or 100 years, and what lessons, what best practices we can share with each other. Right? This will be very useful. And also for a country like India, if I look back, then what is the significance of a constitution, like our constitution? I think 2-3 points are very striking. First is that for a country like India to come up with a consensus document, that itself was a miracle. Because, and also it's a tremendous achievement that you could draft a constitution in a time bound manner, less than 3 years time, and take everyone along and have a document adopted. In a country like India, which is so incredibly diverse, so pluralistic, not only the religion, but also the language, the culture, the habits, the interests. It's a very complex, extremely diverse society, and there is hardly any point on which everyone thinks alike. So having a consensus on any kind of document was a big achievement. It was not a perfect document, as Raj mentioned, like it has gone through more than 100 amendments. The first amendment occurred within a few months of our adoption of the constitution. So it's not a perfect document, but it's symbolically, it has huge weight. For 1.4 billion people, still the constitution remains the ultimate point, the go-to point. If there is any dispute, if there is any difference, any conflict, then where do you go? There is no other text, no other point of reference which can give us a common ground. So we all go to the constitution for resolving our differences. A second point is if you look at countries which got independence around the same time, like Pakistan and China and other countries, so they did not get their constitution. Pakistan got its first constitution in 1956. And again, this is like a third constitution, 1973, which is operational now. China got its first constitution in 1954. And this is fourth constitution which is operational now. The last constitution was, I think, uh, 8 or something. They have had to go through multiple constitutions. Our constitution has shown tremendous resilience. And also, I look back and I marvel how the resilience provided by our constitution. When we started drafting our constitution in 1946, India was still one. And the Constituent Assembly had members both from the Muslim League and Congress. But in 1947, country had to go through partition. The partition was not, fortunately, not like Ireland, which was very peaceful, orderly. Our partition led to about 5 billion, about 5 to 10 million, no clear, so 5 to 10 million people displaced, and 500,000 to 1 million people slaughtered. It's several hundred times more vicious than we see in the Middle East now. So it's a catastrophe of unimaginable proportion that we had to go through while we were drafting our constitution. While we were drafting our constitution, our father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi, was assassinated, and again is a huge blow because he was a father figure for the Constitution Assembly. We lost him in January 48 while the constitution was still being drafted. While the constitution was still being drafted, we faced military war attack from Pakistan, and we faced a war while the constitution was. So the dedication of the constitutional members to go ahead with their work, undeterred by whatever that upheavals taking place outside. Again, the dedication to the mission, the task given to them, again is very inspiring. Also, if you look at India's democracy is very significant, not only for us. For us, it's not a law. For us, it's a way of life. Because a diverse country like India could not have survived as a nation without this like absolute freedom given to express your opinion, and is a democracy which unites India. And also the general perception is that it's autocratic, authoritarian regimes, they are better in delivering development. India's example has shown that despite all the imperfections, it's democracy which is the best way to develop your country, develop your people. And we see that with the purposeful effort over the past several decades, the collective effort has made India now the fastest growing economy. We are showing that democracy can deliver. In fact, democracy can deliver better than autocratic regimes because it has inherent checks and balances. It has inherent institutions to ensure transparency and accountability, which sometimes gets lost in autocratic regimes. So India's success as a democracy is a huge moral strength for other democracies as well. And the foundation of whatever we do is our constitution. So we are very proud of the document that we have. And as Raj said, it has to be treated as a living document, not just a book for keeping the library. Once again, my very sincere thanks to friends, all the friends who joined, and we look forward to seeing you.
Thank you so much, sir, for the very insightful remarks. And this is one of the remarks, comprehensive note on constitution, which I have ever heard in my, though I am, in my short period. Thank you, sir. And while conveying its, highlighting its lacuna, at the same time, how successful it is in protecting our democracy, keeping the diversity. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. And now, shall we have a quick round of introduction first? Just your name and then what you are doing here, and then we will go for the short video, which is the preamble of the Constitution. So that will give the nutshell of the Constitution. Yes. So let's start with yes, please.
My name is Hema Sharma. I am Second Secretary in the Embassy. I am looking forward to listen to views of all the present members here. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Gal King. I'm a Sinn Féin councillor and I took part recently in Next Gen Democracy with the last group. So thank you very much for welcoming me today.
Namaste everyone. My name is Siddharth Purohit and I'm an assistant professor in accountancy at UCD College of Business. I've been in Dublin for about a year now. Thank you very much.
Hello everyone, I'm Supriya Singh, the local election candidate from Dublin Bay North, Donamead. And I'm very happy that today to hear about and so for this having us remind us basically about how our constitution was set up. We are very lucky to hear about these things after so long, and that's all.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Sir. My name is MC Bhagat. I am looking after passport and visas and consular matters in the embassy. I always look forward and I am very open to everyone and whosoever has any concern with the consular and passport visa matters, or for nationals and for internationals. I'm here. Anybody has anything to ask me, I'm here. Thank you so much.
I'm Jigan Ram. I'm the local election candidate for Green Party in Lucan. I'm also a lawyer. I'm also a teacher of constitutional law. So, and I am working for a solicitor firm in Temlock. And I own Sheila Palace Group of Restaurants in Ireland. So, and I own local newspapers as well, Post Malayalam and Irish Indian Chronicle. So I'm a great advocate of democracy. I'm a great advocate of Indian Constitution. As like you said, Indian Constitution stands the test of time. It's a dynamic document, and we say we incorporated the best practice of the best constitutions in the world. For example, fundamental rights from America, directive principle of state policy, socialism from Ireland, which the state control the resources and we divide the resources to the people. Article 39C, which is there in the Indian Constitution. We are proud that we are again cooperating with Ireland in so many ways. Thank you all.
Hi everyone, my name is Baby Pereparan. I am a councillor in Pinnacle Council, Tala South. I am the only one councillor in Tala, especially very strong Sinn Féin area. Anyways, sorry. Thank you so much.
You are the motivation for all of us. You are one among the first Indian origin candidate to get elected to the council. It's a watershed in Irish Indian history, I would say.
In 2009 I was an independent candidate. Unfortunately, I lost my seat, very few votes. Yeah. After that, I joined Pinnacle Party in 2009. I elected. Brilliant. I'm living in Tala House.
He's a huge motivation for us to end the politics. I joined Green Party because of him.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Brisho Prapanand. This is my dad here. I'm a doctor currently working in Tala Hospital. I'm also an election candidate for Fine Gael in Tala Central, so the other part of Tala. So yeah, thank you for having me here. It's been a wonderful experience so far, and I'm very grateful for this educational opportunity as well, from the ambassador as well. So it's been a great experience, and I'm looking forward to learning more as well here. Thank you.
My name is Joseph Roy. I came in Ireland in 2003, now nearly 20 years. From the beginning itself, I am very interested in social work or organization level. So when I left India, I was a counselor in Kerala, and also I was an advocate there as well. I practiced 10 years in Ernakulam District Court and High Court level. After that, I came here. I didn't follow that. I was not in that field. 20 years, I have no connection with in that field. But I work in the local level in small area based on Kerala. I have an organization, chief coordinator of the organization, which is in the name of Kerala House. So I mean, I am working in this whole field. I believe that wherever you are working, it will be a good success. According to me, I believe the Kerala House is going on very well. Last 10 years with the 10 programs and every year like that. And also I am telling that I am first time coming like this, a meeting in embassy or something. I didn't try to come here. No, I am not I'm blaming this meetings or program. I'm not much giving importance like this. Don't misunderstood me. I am not much give importance for this. I want to work with the people day to day see. That is my nature. Maybe wrong or right. But anyway, I got an invitation today here. But I am happy that it was regarding the constitution. I heard that I can get a chance later to talk about it.
Yeah.
So, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks. Wait, shall we?
Yes.
We, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, and to secure to all its citizens justice, social, economic, and political liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith, and worship, equality of status and of opportunity, and to promote among them all fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual and the unity and integrity of the nation. In our Constituent Assembly, this 26th day of November 1949, do hereby adopt, enact, and give to ourselves this Constitution.
Now let's get into the discussion. Now the floor is yours. You can touch upon the things which Ambassador mentioned so far in his introductory remarks, and also in the preamble which was shown now. And in addition, you can talk about the Irish Constitution or the Indian Constitution or the connection between these two. The floor is yours.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Ambassador. Thank you, everybody. I suppose I could just give a brief description as to why I am here today. I suppose I was very lucky to be one of the delegates of the last group of Next General Democracy. And we travelled to India in August and spent 10 days across India, visiting Delhi, Agra, and my favourite place, my second home, Jammu Kashmir. Very, very good. It was paradise, I swear to God. So look, I suppose we spent 10 days there, experiencing and learning Indian culture, getting to know how India runs the country, their challenges, their strengths, their weaknesses, and I suppose taking it back then to Ireland and seeing what we can learn and whatnot. I suppose I did mention I represent Sinn Féin. I'm a councillor in the north of Ireland. So I suppose being from the north of Ireland, our constitution's a bit different to Southern Ireland, but there's no two ways about it. I suppose Sinn Féin is an All-Ireland party. Our manifesto, our commitment is to unite this island, north and south. So we look towards India and we kind of resemble and we try to learn how you were able to achieve the diverse cultures, different rights and whatnot, and how we're able to incorporate that into a constitution, a new constitution for Ireland. I believe we're in a decade of opportunity. We're very strong. I think Ireland socially is very strong at the moment. So I don't like using this word capitalize too much, but I think we should capitalize on Ireland's strength at the moment, and strive for a new and united Ireland. As I said there, I live in the north, with a community, a sizable community that represents as British and Unionist. I am proud to have friends that are British and of that political belief. If you said 25 years ago, before the peace agreement, would you have friends like that? It would probably be very unlikely. But it just shows you how progressive the north of Ireland has moved on since the Good Friday Agreement. You know, so I suppose, look, just to sum up, you mentioned the Constitution of India, you mentioned the Irish Constitution as well. Maybe it is time to look at both constitutions, revise, modernize, take in other beliefs, take in other thoughts, have everybody around one table, and strive for a better world. You know, so thank you very much, Mr. Ambassador, and thank you everybody as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ambassador, for the opportunity to attend this event, and it's a great honor to hear the insights about the Indian and Irish constitutions, and how each other have appreciated how the countries have appreciated each other's formulation of the constitution. So the fact that the two countries are very similar and draw inspiration from each other is evident. In my own experience, that somebody who studied accountancy and company law in India all his life is teaching at an Irish university at the moment. So people get surprised when I tell them that I studied in India, but I'm teaching at an Irish school. So the laws and regulations are so much similar to each other. The accounting standards, the company laws and regulations. So it's all very much the same. So I think both the countries have learned a lot from each other in their parliamentary systems as well, and in the way laws are formed. So that is, I think, a very good sign. And also, the first president of India, Dr. Rajendra Prasad, is an alumnus of the Sutherland School of Law in the University College Dublin. So I think that's also one of the things that binds the Indian political and legal system to Ireland. I learned this fact when I was having a discussion with my dean, and he was the one who told me that your president was an alum of the UCD Sutherland School of Law. And then I visited the Sutherland School of Law building, and I saw a big picture of him right there in the reception. So when you visit Sutherland School of Law, you can see for yourself. I think that is a very good thing, and Indian talent, by large, is very much appreciated in Ireland. If you look at the various job vacancies in the IT and the finance domains, which are being filled up by a lot of Indian educated professionals, and also in Indian, a lot of academics from Indian schools are now coming to various universities in Dublin to as professors and teachers. So I think the ties between both the countries are only going to get strong with the passage of time. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Ambassador, for having us here. And it was great listening to everything that you said today. For me, I'm a Pinnacle local election candidate here. And in terms of talking about the relationship that we have between India and Ireland, from the references that we have taken from Irish Constitution to sharing the similar family values, India and Ireland has come a long way. The friendship has come a long way, I would say. And when we talk about the representation of women in politics, the reason that I decided that I'll put my name forward. So, I mean, I appreciate the diverse and inclusive political landscape in Ireland. It reflects the richness of different backgrounds coming together. For me, I feel, and for everyone, representation matters. As a new face in Irish politics, as a female candidate from Dublin Bay North and from Indian origin, I feel this shows the importance of diverse representation in politics, how women contribute, how they can contribute to unique perspectives of policy making, like from the how the constitution was set up. in India. And now when we talk about, I feel privileged and proud and honored to be a part of this political system where every voice matters now. And from like bringing different kinds of changes from the repeal movement to various kind of changes and the laws and legislation, it feels great that we have a voice today. I feel that it helps in building the cultural bridge and aiming to foster better understanding and cooperation between the Irish community and between the vibrant Indian diaspora. I moved to Ireland in 2016. It's been 7.5 years. I fell in love with the generosity and the warm hospitality of the Irish people. And I feel proud to call this place my home. And India, I'm from India. Most of us are from Indian origin. India always holds a special place in the heart. I know where I come from. And now calling this place as my home, it shows the friendship that we have built up in this short span of time. And I feel really honored to be here today. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the lecture. I'm late, so I couldn't hear the whole lecture. But Dr. Ambedkar had studied around 60 constitutions over 3 years to draft our constitution. So as it clearly says, India secure into sovereign, socialist, democratic, and secular republic. It underlines everything. Whenever we have a conflict with the constitution, we look into preamble and says that it is a basic structure. There are a lot of cases, Keshavananda Bharati case, a lot of cases involved in it. When there is a conflict with fundamental right and the other things, they look into this preamble and take inspiration and solve the problems. But my upbringing in India, I can see myself as very socialist and secular and democratic, all the values. I always believe in people power. Looking at Irish constitution and Indian constitution, for example, election of president through proportional representation was taken from Irish constitution. So that's a huge thing for India. And all the socialist credential, like I previously mentioned, directive principles of state policy, which state is supposed to implement, but state is not bound to implement. That is taken from Irish constitution. Proper wages, all those things, and state keep the resources and distribute among people. Like COVID, you had seen that how Irish government has distributing its resources to the people. Like India also have many programs where the state keep the resource and distribute to the people. We follow a kind of Nehruvian concept of democratic socialism, where state keep the resource and distribute to the people. So Indian constitution stands the test of time. It's a dynamic document. And for amending the constitution, we have huge process. 2/3 majority of the parliament is needed, and a ratification of half of the states is needed to amend the constitution. So it is not easy to amend the constitution, but for simple things, we can amend using a simple majority in parliament. So, and it's huge. And thanks for listening to your lecture. Thank you.
Thank you for inviting us here today. And at the moment, India and Ireland the relationship is going very strong now, especially in work-related and students things. Last year is around 46,000 work permit is issued Ireland, and majority is nearly half, 23,000 is from India. That's a very important thing. Also this year, and students is coming more from India. And at the moment we are not getting the proper time to get the visa process, and it will delaying like 45, 60 days now at the moment because of that much backlog applications are in the embassy in New Delhi. That's the main issue is going on at the moment. If you could send an email to the minister or somebody, so that would be great, because a lot of inquiries are coming now. Especially they started the healthcare system, healthcare assistant besides also delaying 60 days at the moment. So anyways, India and Ireland is a very, very strong relation is going on now at the moment. Thank you.
Thank you, Ambassador, for the invite. I think just as many people said here, my background is slightly different in the sense that I've been here since I'm 1, but I'm been privileged to go back to India almost every year or every second year. I'm grateful for my parents for that kind of experience, so that I've been able to kind of almost get the best of both worlds. So, you know, I've been able to experience our culture back in India and as well living here, seeing how things are back home here as well. And I guess as Dad said as well, the fact that we have so many delays in visas, whether it be for, you know, students or healthcare assistants or nurses, I guess that just shows the influx of people looking to come into Ireland. And it shows, I guess, one, what Ireland can offer, but at the same time that there is a need for, you know, healthcare staff in the country, you know, and I think, sir, as you mentioned as well, we've had over 100 amendments of the Constitution. And, you know, when I heard that, the one thing I thought was how, you know, how much we're open towards changing and adapting the Constitution as opposed to kind of keeping it stagnant. That the fact that we are dynamic in that approach, I think, you know, this is something that can only lead to greater prosperity and harmony within both countries, because I think essentially we're kind of feeding off each other in a positive way, and hopefully we can continue to do this in a manner that is positive and beneficial for both countries. Thank you.
Hi, dear Ambassador, thank you for the invitation. And almost all covered regarding the institution, almost all covered by Ambassador Jitin. Everybody's go through it, so not much I'm expressing. I just stick on only 2 points. And first, I want to say one thing. I am an Irish citizen. I want to keep my oath when I am taking Irish citizenship. So my first privilege, my first country, my loving country, is now in Ireland. There is another point after taking all the way. Okay, but I am proud about India. I came from India. I'm proud about our constitution as well, Indian constitution. So my viewpoint is that Indian constitution is a watchdog of India. So constitution is protecting India in day-to-day basis. Because I'm a little bit accent problem. I'm trying to convince my best. We are keeping our democracy and secularism. That is the main thing of India. That is the reason based on our constitution. We have plenty of political parties, we have plenty of good leaders and everything. They did many good things for India. But the main thing, we are going like this, we are keeping our secularism and democracy because of our constitution. So the example is that the many countries got independence before us and with us, went to dictatorship, but still India is keeping their democracy in mind and social life of India. They are conducting general election every 5 years. People going to polling booths and selecting ministers and everything. That means our democracy is safe. May have some problems little bit there, but purely our democracy is safe under Indian constitution. And the second thing regarding secularism, many countries, neighbor countries of India, is going with some religious politics. Still, India have some issues around. I'm not blaming some issues all around India, even though 83% of Hindus are living in India. I'm not talking about any religion or something, but the one country, 83% of one religion is living there. All other minorities are secular there. All minorities are secure there. 1% of Muslim, 2% of Christians, and other backward, other small communities are safe there, except some small issues in some places. But if you consider the population of India, consider the beginnings of India, there is some problems. But ultimately, India is keeping India's secularism, India's democracy very well until today. It will go ahead until the constitution is existing in India. If some leaders or parties is interfering, India or somebody, there is a watchdog under constitution, that is a judiciary. they will interfere. So I hope that India never fail, India never go back, India will go ahead as a for other countries, as a model of for other countries. That's it. Thank you.
Now, it's an open time. Anybody can switch in. You can have, if you have any additional remarks or views of you, you can share now, and then we will conclude the event. Anybody? Wants to share?
I can say a few words.
Yes, please. Please.
Though I'm not expert on this, but having listened to all of you, I can say a few words. That I am proud to be a national of a country like India. Where the Constitution of India has been named by the parliamentarians of India as a secular document. This gives constitutional supremacy and not a parliamentary supremacy. Since created by the Constituent Assembly and was adopted by the people with a declaration, where the duties and citizens of the country of India has been clearly defined. And I'm proud to be sitting in a country like Ireland, where while writing the Constitution of India, the Constitution of Ireland was taken as a point of reference. It is the best part of also is that wherever the amendments have been made, while keeping the welfare of the people of India, and the Constitution of India as of now is working thoroughly well. Thank you.
So now we are at the end of this. Yeah.
Is there any chance India will come with the dual citizenship? They amend the constitution to the dual citizenship, because I don't want to. I'm an Indian citizen still. I can contest council election using Indian citizenship, but not the parliamentary elections. So, is there any chance?
As of now, I don't see like dual citizenship, as you rightly said, like you have adopted this country as your.
Actually, I forgot to suggest that Jitin, what he's saying, Jitin, I also requesting you to do something. We can do something like that.
Because I don't want to feel like I'm not an Indian. I can't be both. Yeah.
Not like today, the world is globalized.
Yeah.
So you can stay connected wherever you are. The government of India has recognized that emotional connect and also cultural roots, and also all over the world there is a trend towards respecting your individuality.
That's true.
And Ireland is a glorious example of like pluralistic, harmonious existence. So in fact, people in the leadership in Ireland actually encourages everyone to stay the way they are and then be proud and then be good Irish and also good inheritors of their own native culture. So we recognize that there is a link, and people want to stay connected with people of Indian origin, want to stay connected with India. So we have come up with OCI, Overseas Citizenship of India, which gives you all functional opportunities to engage with India.
What is hampering Indian government giving dual citizenship? For example, majority of the Irish who migrated to America, they can keep both the citizenship.
No, but again, the same model does not apply. In India, India is very complex. India is 1.4 billion people. If you apply the like Indian origin, then entire Pakistan, entire Bangladesh, most of like
I knew that.
So they all can claim inheritance of India. So it's not feasible. And also Ireland is lucky that you have like your both neighbors, the US and Canada on one hand, and the UK. You don't have hostile neighbors. You have friendly neighbors. You may have some differences on issues, but whereas India is extremely challenging neighbor. So we have security issues, we have political issues, we have historical issues. India's
But
situation.
it will change with time, I believe, yeah.
I don't see why it should change because unless there's a really, there's no reason for India to copy any other.
I think many introduced the bill in the parliament. Many MPs tried to introduce the
No,
bill in
many
the
people
parliament.
try to,
especially the
but it's not a thoughtful process. Not a thoughtful process. So I sincerely believe, and also as the Indian ambassador, how do I see the role of people of Indian origin, Irish nationals of Indian origin? So as India's ambassador to Ireland, my mandate is to have friendship with 5 million people. 5 million Irish people, I want to friendship with them. I want them to look at India and start greater connectivity with India, engage with India. If I'm meeting someone like him who has only been to India for 10 days, so your knowledge is rather limited. Whereas if you look at someone else who has born in India and aware with like India's social connect, so engaging them for India-Ireland Connect is easier because they are familiar not only with Delhi, they are not only familiar with the laws, they are also familiar with the ground situation in different regions. So compared to others, the Indian diaspora is a natural connect. And also Indian diaspora of like Irish citizenship now, so they can be a real link between India and Ireland. And they can also be a link for Irish friends who are not familiar with India. Like if you want to go to India, then you can ask your friend, like, where do you go? Where do you stay? What kind of business opportunities do you have? So having a diaspora is a great benefit to Irish friends as well. Similarly, like I was a consul general in Canada, so there we have about how many?
7 lakhs, yeah.
2 million strong Indian diaspora. So they are great connect between Canada and India, and not only in terms of their own connectivity, but also providing storehouse of wisdom and knowledge and grassroots level understanding of India to their Canadian friends or their American friends. So that is the like advantage of having a vibrant diaspora. And the Indian diaspora in Ireland is growing quite impressively, and also the latest census report shows that the Indian diaspora is in terms of Indian citizens in Ireland is the third biggest foreign resident community, behind only Polish and British. And also the Indian diaspora has highest median income. It's very like because Indian community, as you rightly said, they are coming coming based on the economic requirements of Ireland. Whether they are doctor, IT professionals, or accountants, or auditors, or pharmaceutical industry experts, or financial experts, or nurses and healthcare professionals. So they are demand driven. So it's a real mutual benefit for both. Also, our students are getting attracted to Ireland, particularly after Brexit. I think Ireland's attractiveness has gone up. So a lot more Indians now look at Ireland as a opportunity for high-end tertiary education compared to UK or other European countries or Canada, Australia. So now, in a very short period, Ireland has caught up with Canada and Australia in terms of profile. So this is a very healthy, good trend. Our students come for masters and PhD programs, and they are doing really cutting edge work. Like our researchers, they are doing really fine cutting edge work. So,
And of highly skilled migration, that's the backbone of any country. That's happening in Ireland. Highly skilled migration, all the IT sector, all the nurses, all the highly skilled people build the country.
Yeah. also like having worked in many countries, many continents, I see Irish example as like very encouraging, very heartening. That the chemistry is very natural. Between Irish and Indian friends, it's a very natural, very
Like she
warm-
mentioned about the family ties and all, yeah.
It's really like extension of families. So this is a very heartening sight for me. Like wherever I go, every county has very like strong Indian presence, and all of them are very comfortably working together as part of bigger society. And also the kind of warmth and affection as you mentioned, the hospitality and warmth by the Irish people. So the Irish friends are extending that kind of generous hospitality to Indian community. Whether there are hospitals or universities or companies. So it's a very, very warm friendship that we are enjoying.
Agree, very much. Amazing.
Thank you. On behalf of Ambassador and Embassy of India, so it's time to thank each and everyone who participated in this fruitful, very productive session. It was indeed enriching and informative. Thank you, all of you, for taking your time and then joining this session. Looking forward to meet you again in another productive session. Thank you so much.
Thank you.